Hello, good evening. I hope that everything is okay now. It seemed to have a little bit of a false alarm there starting. Technology, hey, I never can get it right. Anyway, I've got a new product for you to try tonight. I thought I'd play with it and show you some different ways. They're kind of a half-finished project, but not actually a finished piece, but not a finished project, if you get my drift. So I'm just getting the cameras ready here. Hopefully somebody will, whoops a daisy, there we go. Someone will come up and tell me that I'm in the right place. There you go, take that off, that one and that one. And there I am in the corner, Heidi, hi. So, the product I'm going to use today was one that arrived in my last but one order. Hi Rhonda, nice to see you. I have purchased the Round We Go bundle here. Well, sorry, the dies. I haven't purchased the bundle. I've just purchased the dies. I had some things in my mind that I would love to play with, and I've done these things manually before, where you fold them all up and you bend them around. This die does everything for you, but I've got some other little tips with you to share with you on some of the other pieces as well. I might regret it and I might end up buying the stamps later, but for these images here, these greetings, you can use any greetings with them. So I've just bought this one at the moment. Okay, so I'll leave my marker in there and I'll set that aside. So Round We Go dies. These, as you saw in the catalogue, they are all shapes. Just get rid of that. So we have Round You Go dies. They are 163729 if you're looking to order them. Hi Lynn. Oh, so Daisy once dropped off not got these onto magnets yet. I do need some more magnetic sheets and I need to get them ordered. I'm going to get that packaging out of the way as well. So Lynn has seen this because Lynn was here playing with me the other day on a project that they finished. So she knows what I'm going to share with you tonight. Hi Shaz, nice to see you. So these, the circles in the absence of the smaller punches that we used to have, I think this is about a 3/4 and about 1/2 inch, and my ruler's the other side of the table. But these are kind of like good equivalents and something we were missing in the current library. So that's good. These are all shapes. I've punched some out, die cut some of them out, but I want to show you this one. The reason being, you're going to see everything. But I just want to show you through with this one a little bit. I've found that if you've got the Stamp and Pierce mat, it has an abundance of uses, okay? Not just for your embossing and pierce, is a pierce, Stamp and Pierce mat, leaning on when you're stamping with the polymer stamps, but it also provides a bit of a cushion. Instead of having this rattling on your glass mat, then it's just a nice little cushion on here and it saves me making so much noise when I'm on my lives. So I've cut some of these strips to size, but I've made them a little bit wider than I did the other day. So I want to make sure that I get these straight on here. There's a reason for this. Now, I don't think I brought over my tape. Let me just see if I can reach that. I did have it there. There it is. This is my little tape gun for my Scotch tape to hold the dies in place. So I'm just going to click that a couple of times. Sorry for the noise. So I've got a couple of pieces of tape on here now. Now the reason for having these are perfectly straight edges. I've cut them on the guillotine, on the trimmer, paper trimmer. So you want to have them so that they are straight, not sort of skew-eyed like that, if you can see me on there, I hope. Not so they're skew-eyed. You want to have them straight, okay, because you're going to be left with something else. You know Sandra and her using her scraps and her waste. Then I think you're going to be surprised with the outcome. So just bear with me a sec. Run this one through. I have a really tattered one on here now because I've been using it so much today. I've been cutting alphabets and it's kind of... it's now both sides. It has got all covered in alphabet cuttings and it's starting to split. So I have got another one here if it does go. So I'm just going to peel those off from my piece. Because I've done it in the middle of a piece, the outside piece will stay put. This is the piece that we're going to use tonight with the concertina. Okay, and we're going to use that in a sec. But this is the waste that's left over. Now, I immediately saw this. It's got two different sides to the die. You can have the pointy end out or you can have the scallopy end out, and I'll show you why that's quite useful. Very well designed later. But on here you have a little border. If I had a card here and I wanted to put a little border on there, say, where can I put a little border? I'm trying to think how I wanted to do this, but say that was a piece of card and you wanted to stick this on the top. What I would do here is take my snips, take this out there, take that out there. I know that I've done these straight on the outer edges, just cutting the ends off, but you could actually line a card or have it at the top and the bottom, makes it easy on a shorter side. So something like that. You've actually got, if you have an even border around the outside, you can actually then have borders, so you can actually make those and join them. If you have a join midway on a long card, this is a DL just that was in my basket beside me, but if you have a join here, what you do is make sure that you cover that, make sure the sentiment is coming out from there, or an embellishment, but you could actually line that up all the way around the card. Okay, so that was a good one. That was one side, and then the other side is this reverse scallop. So I'm not quite so impressed with this, but if you were using this with blues, you could actually have that this way up and have different shades of blue and have it as waves. Okay, so just wanted to give you those extra hints with that one, just from the outside waist. Okay, so that's those two. So we are going to just get rid of that card and do this twice more. So I'm going to pop the die on there. It's kind of, one of them's like a rickrack and the other one's kind of like a reversed scallop. So it's just a case of thinking outside the box and using them from different purposes. So that one and that one. Yeah, I had a class here, a couple of people here the other day on Thursday, and we had fun and games with this. After they finished their project, we decorated it with using this set. So we had a lot of fun with it. So that's my second one, and I'm just going to do it once more on the third one here. So I just want to make sure I use those borders and just press that down. There we go. I don't need to run all of them through with you because I can, I've got some cut out in advance. But it's the techniques to use the way that I wanted to show you. So stick that on there, and this one on there. I think I've got all the rest done. Okay, so we'll do that. Pop that one back in the packet. So we'll push that out of the way for now. Okay, move my chair in so I don't fall off the end. I tend to perch on the edge of chairs. I know it's not good. Hi Maxine, nice to see you. So with these dies, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go with this one first, but we have all those other pieces that I want to work through with you. I'm not going to get up again. You're going to have to excuse my inky bone folder. I used to keep an old one for ink purposes when I re-ink ink pads. Now I use the back of a plastic spoon or a metal spoon and then put it in the dishwasher. The reason is these are bone, and the grains in the bone, it does leak in there and you just cannot get it out. So this is very well cleaned, but it doesn't look very nice. So apologies for that. I'm now going to just concertina this. So literally you're going to go one in, one out, one in, one out. Now we've made these years ago where we had to measure these by hand and score on the Score It tool. And make these creases ourselves. Now the die makes it so much easier. Okay, I'm doing a few of these freehand like this, just in my fingers. Okay, so those joining us, has anybody else got this set? Just doing a few, and I'm just pressing on it with the bone folder, just to press those down, and I'll carry on. It's a really is a nice set. It's a bit fiddly, but you soon get the hang of it, and the fact that all the creases are there, they're done for you, so it's really easy. You can pile them all up on top of each other if your fingers can hold it there. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing actually. Let me just try and get you in a little bit closer without going silly far. There we go. How is everybody? This will just take me a little while just to go in and out with these. I'm going to do a few other techniques with some of the others, including using my glue gun later on. So do stay tuned just to see what I'm going to do with this. Okay, maybe I should have had a couple of these done first. I've got the other pieces cut out, but I thought I'd do these on air. Hi Irene, greetings from the Netherlands. Nice to see you. So I go live every week at this time on a Sunday and 9 o'clock on a Wednesday. So if you follow me, I'm pretty consistent. I have just had a big birthday holiday, and I've got to add some meetings and things, so I've missed a couple. Well, I've missed one since I've been back, haven't I? So, but pretty consistent. So just folding this second one up. I've got big clumpy hands, so it's just being patient, but it's so much easier having a die that does all the work for you. It's really, really good. So again, I'm just going to press on that. I don't bone fold each single fold. You'd be here all night. Okay, there's two. And I don't think I need to do the third one, because I've got a feeling on my sample over there, I did just the one. Okay. You really like this set. You see, I said at the beginning, I didn't get the stamp set. I've only got the dies. So once it's done, you can pull them out a little bit. You've squished them down and you've made them go ups and downs on here. Now, one of the first things I want to point out to you is the ends here. This is a tab end, so that has the glue on it. Now, in the olden days, we'd have wrapped that over, but I think it's better to actually put the glue on there and put this one against it, so that you've actually got the two pieces like that become one, and it continues on that fold. Okay, so that becomes that and that become one. Okay, then this tab will go on to the next one. Okay, so I'm going to take some Tombow and just put that on the end there. Just put a little bit on the end. And then this one, I'm going to press it to get together basically. So if you're on a hard surface, you can just make sure that they are glued together and leave it a little while just for the glue to set. And then they will come round. And then these ones, I'm going to join this end to that. Oh, ow, no, stop. I've just made a mistake. Just get my, oh, in the olden days, yeah, absolutely in the olden days, Shaz. I remember them well. Oh, have I just done that too tight? It's just, I've got to get them apart. I didn't bring my heat gun out today. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to snip one of those off. I'm really sorry. I'm going to show you what I've done here. I don't know if it'd be easier to see it on my hand. This edge is the scallop edge and this edge is the pointy edge. So I've actually put them together, one and one. So I've twisted one round. So I do need to just take that off there. So I'm going to take that fold off there. That was a bad start, wasn't it? So take that one off and take that one off. All right, this is not how you do it. You put your straight edges together and your scallop edges together. That is the first thing that you do. Okay, so I'm just going to use this tab with this one here. I have played with these, believe it or not. These are the pointy ones. I'm going to put that tab onto that side. So they're going to go together. Scallopy and pointy pointies. Okay, you know me, I call a spade a spade. So scallopies and pointies, and then they are together. That was a big faux pas, wasn't it? So let that one just go off just slightly, and then we're going to bend these round when that's gone off, and we're going to join these two ends together. Now you could make a bigger one by adding in your third one and coming along here. I found that my sample I did over there, I've done without making a third one. So this will come together. So what we need to do now is to join these two together, inside out or together, whichever. We do need to end up with we can't join them like that because I've cut off a fold the other end, haven't I? So I'm going to take this one off, an uppy and a downy. You wouldn't normally have to do that. You want them to be one on one, okay? That's just a word of caution to put your scallops and your points together. Okay, so we'll do that and we'll be back to normal. There we go. Now I do need to put my hot glue gun on. I'm going to have to talk you through the others while my hot glue gun warms up. I have done this with just the two before. Okay, so I'm just going to leave those to dry so that the glues go off. Then we're going to make that one into a rosette. Okay, but I'm going to bring you over to some of the other pieces. So we have here the scallop. This is the scallop one, where the scallopy edges are literally like the edge of that banner. We have here the pointy one. So this is a scallop and this is a pointy, like we've got on here. One end's one and one end is the other. So depending on what type of project you want to do, there's two different ones there. We have, these two are two more pieces. I've just kept to the purples because they were on the studio table. So again, this one has got pointy ends on it, this end, and this one's got rounded ends, okay? But the beauty of these, I want to just show you, oh, we've got some more comments in the olden day. Hi Marilyn, a bit late, you'll catch the start. Oh, yes, lovely sunshine today, wasn't it? So these two are very different. But they're the same. If you get my drift, you've got pointy ends on there and you've got rounded ends on here. So you could cut two of those and they would interlock. You could cut two of those and they would interlock. Or you can do what Sandra did and interlock the two together. So I'm going to just put those between there and I'm just pressing them together. And because one fits exactly inside the other, because they're very fragile, you might just need to shuffle it a little bit round. But you can clip those together. There's no glue there. But if I was going to use those on a project like that, I've done it for demonstration purposes, but if I was going to use those on a project, I would actually put some glue just in the centre point. But you've got that. If I can put that on a piece of white paper, what have I got? Have I got any whites? Oh yes, I've got white card there. Take a piece out of that packet. So if I just place it on there for you and bring it up to the camera, it will set it off easier. So you can see that the inner one, the darker one, is rounded ends, and the outer, the lilac-y one, the Gorgeous Grape, is pointy ends. So all the way through we've got this theme going. You can do either or when I show you my sample at the end that I made up before, you can have both of them pointy and both of them curly. A bit confusing all of that, isn't it? I'll leave that out in case we need it. So then we have a couple. Now I looked at these two thinking, what do I do with those? What would you use those for? Because they're just scraps of card. I cut one out of everything. When I get a new set of dies, I tend to do that to know how they're going to work and then work out what I'm going to do with them. Now, this one is kind of like a diamondy hole around there. This one is smaller and it's got little circles all the way around. And I have used this one. We'll use this one in a little bit. Okay, but that will be useful. So that's those two. And then we have this one here. It actually embosses into it. Now, I don't know how I'm going to show you this one on camera because it's a dark colour. Let me quickly whisk you through a lighter colour one. If I grab my scraps, let me grab this one. It's what we've got here. We've got Highland Heather. Only need a little piece. I'll probably do. There we go. You know I like my boxes, my scraps. So I'm going to quickly cut that one through just so you can see. I'll lay these all on here. That's the start of it. That's those ones, those ones. And this one, it's a little disc in the middle here. Okay. I love Blackberry Bliss, as you know, but it's definitely, just move that over out of the way. Definitely better sit this one here. So this is again, bring that on the white piece of paper up to the camera. Can you see that there's some embossing in there? If I tilt it, you might be able to see the embossing in the middle of that. So that's a really useful one to do. But I have used that for other purposes as well. And then we have the two plain circles. We have these two plain ones, okay? So we've got two different sizes. So we've got those, we've got those, we've got that one, which is also that one. And I think that's all the pieces so far. Okay, so for this exercise, it doesn't matter what you put on the back. I am going to now take my mat away and I'm going to push this down into the centre, okay? All you do is just push it in like so. They are starting to come away there. That's better. I need to let that one dry a little bit better. Should have brought some, oh, I've got paper clips there, look. Paper clips are brilliant for keeping things lined up. So if you just want to put that on there, it's not very strong actually, so that might just help a little bit. Okay, so we'll go one more stage further. I'm going to use this with one of these discs, but then I'm going to also show you, let's jump to this one. Let's see if the glue gun is heated yet. That one's a little bit longer as well. Okay. Oh, would you believe it? I have a USB charger on this and it's dead. So let me just quickly. It was fine earlier. Good job, you guys know me. It was showing blue earlier when I got it out and now it's dead. So we just need to pop this in on charge. I have a power bank on the desk here. There's a little bit of work we can do anyway while I'm waiting. I'll stick you in there so you can have some charge as well. Okay, we'll come back to that. So, little roses. As soon as I saw this, when I use punchers, when we had all the Scallopy punchers, I make helter-skelters out of these and I make little roses. Now these are so quick and easy to do. I love my tweezers with it though. I should film the same side as I sit to work normally, shouldn't I? Yeah, and then that makes life a bit easier. So I literally helter-skelter this. So come in from any of those scallops and just come round. I'm sure we can all remember helter-skelters at the amusement parks when we were kids. Yes, I can remember back that far. So all we're doing is making a helter-skelter. We're cutting it freehand. There's no need to draw lines. There's no need for templates. The first time I learnt to make these, I learnt with a 6-inch piece of paper and was told to round off the corners. Just make them round. And then we wound that up, and I've been making them ever since. So that was many years ago. So there's my little helter-skelter. Can you see that? Okay, so that's ready to go, and we need a pair of tweezers with that. But I kind of do need some juice in this before it's gonna, before you want to work. You don't really want to play, do you, tonight? Okay, it can only charge when it's switched off, so there's another lesson. So there's one. So what I'm going to do while we're waiting, I'm going to dome one of these because I'm going to be using one of these on here. So I have a big ball tool. It's one that I've had for donkey's years. You could also use a Tombow lid. So if you get an old Tombow, you could use this. I do like to use this because it's a good size, and it's one that I've had, like I say, for a long while. But you can use that. You can use the end of the Tombow and then press this in. It's a little bit big to keep going round and with it as hard as that one is. But we've also got the take your pick tools, and we've got the tools on the end of that. They're smaller balls than this one, but they do still leave a good surface area. So that's making a really nice little dent in there. Can you see that one? If I bring it up out of the camera, there you go. So I'm going to place on that one, I'm going to take my tweezers and just put a little mini glue dot in the middle of that. We want it to maintain the shape, okay, and depending, I'll leave that on there for now. Depending on how deep you've made it, you can put 1 or 2 of those on there, but I'll leave that one there for a minute. And then next, what else can I do? This one here, I mentioned about the gluing them together. So I am going to do these. I'm just going to take those gently apart. The dark one is on the top. So when you start to dismantle these, you need to remember what circle is here, and just pull these ones forward very gently and pull the other ones away from it. So I'm going to put a little dot of glue in the middle. back to my glue. Put a little bit of glue in the middle of that one, just there, and then place this one back on the top in those gaps. Okay, so we want to just shuffle it till it goes in the gaps. So that's just gonna make sure that they are anchored together, okay? And then they sit nicely like so. So now what we're gonna do is run this little tiny hole one round the edge of that. So I want the smaller circle, this one, and I'm gonna run that through the machine here. That's the one from earlier. This one's just going to have that in the center. Now, this is one that you don't want it to move. So once you've got it in the center, hopefully you can see that. So I'm going to run that through there. I'm just going to place this over the edge there and run this through. And take it off the plate. So I've got my letter opener here, and I use that just to lift those off the dies, off the plate. So when you remove these, be very careful that you're not moving it from the ends and you're going to rip them all off. So just take edge at a time, come from the center, just get underneath that tape. Because we've put it through the plates, we've actually pushed them together. So we've pressed the tape onto the plate. There we go, that's gone. So now when we remove this, we have got a lovely little ring under there of delicate. Put that white card back in. And you see how that leaves all those little white holes in the middle? Okay, so it's really, really pretty. Okay, so we are going to be mounting these up. We're going to make the layers come together, and I am going to put this one onto here. Or maybe I'll use the other one today. I've used different colourways, so I'm just using whatever is on the table. So I'm going to put that one onto there, and then this one will sit onto here. But I do need the glue gun just to work to be able to do that. So it's charging at the moment. Aha. Looks like it's working. Let me just test this on a little scrap somewhere. Good job I had my... No, just leave that one to warm up for a little bit. Okay, what else can I show you? So they're all the finished articles. I don't want to show you those until we get there. I've done this with the scallopy one. We can also do it with this one, and depending on what project you're going to put on, you might want to have spiky edges to it, or you can have the scallopy one. It's going to take forever to warm up now, isn't it? Because I need to do it on camera. So I'll have two here to show you. Has anybody made paper roses like this before? Not sure how many I've got online at the moment. There's two helter-skelter trees there ready to go. I can't wind them up yet because I'll need the glue gun to fix it down with. So I think we're playing a bit of a waiting game. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? So I had this all planned out and not quite working. So what else can I show you? Can't show you anything there, can I? Oh yes, the domes. Now I don't know if I'd shown you these online, but these are like this circle here that I've created a little dome with here. Okay, I've embossed it from the other side onto a mat. You can't do this in your hands. You need to really be on a firm mat. And so I've done that one already. Now these ones are the same, and I've turned them over, and there's one little dot underneath there. And then I've covered it in our fine tip glue. So we have fine tip glue. It does come with a proper bottle, a lid on it, but my needle is broken in mine. But the liquid is still very, very usable. So I do use it. There's just a pin in the top there. And that over the top just makes that lovely glaze. Now it does need 2 coats. It's a little bit like when you're painting your walls at home. The first coat is the undercoat. It will leave it dull and it will just settle onto the card, kind of soak in a little bit and form a glaze, and then the second coat will make it all nice and shiny. And the reason I put the little foam dot under there is to lift it off the paper. Now this is wax paper. if you've got, I use the ones I use for my labels. This was a trick from Lynn, who's on here. When I have my labels I put on the backs of my cards, this waxy paper here, Lynn will probably put in the comments some other places where she keeps her wax paper from. So I peel the label off to put on the card, but the wax paper here is really good for resisting glue like this. So that's another tip for you. But they turn out really nicely and they can just sit on there until I'm ready to use them. I do have a use for those and they will be featuring in the next few weeks. Okay, so I'll give this another go and see whether I've got flowing glue or not. It's getting there, so we've got some liquid coming out. So I'm going to start doing my Helter Skelter. So I take my tweezers. Okay, you can do this in your hand, in your normal hands, but it's a little bit more complicated. By having this or a quilling tool, I'm literally just turning my tweezers over, leaving my thumb against the edge of the inner side of the circle. And all I'm doing is twiddling this round, rolling it round and round and round. Okay, so my thumb is on the inside. The Helter Skelter keeps getting in the way. Keep your thumb on the inside and I'm turning my tweezers. Okay, so I'm keeping the bottom very flat. Okay, we're going to think of it being a coiled spring, and then when you unwind the spring it will unwind a little bit, and then you're going to put glue, the hot glue gun. Tombow isn't really good enough for this. You do need a glue gun, a hot glue gun, and then that will actually sit in a little puddle of glue, and then it will go up that middle coil of spring. Okay, you're going to see that in a sec. Just winding it all the way to the middle. My thumb is still keeping it flat, and I'm going to put the glue on that little tab there. You're left with that circle in the middle. That's where our glue is going to go. So I'm going to turn it down onto here. Okay. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer, just a sec. Oh, got you there. Bring you back in. All right, so you can see I'm now going to hold this up a little bit, but I'm going to let my if I lift it, I'm just going to let this tweezers come out. So they've slidden out, and I'm going to use my finger to just tap on it and let that uncoil a little bit. Okay, because as we're winding it up, it's gone quite tight. Now when I can get enough glue out of my gun, I'm going to put the glue on that little tab at the bottom here. I'm going to make a right little puddle there. No, I don't think it's going to be hot enough, is it? There's some coming out. Lesson. Somebody asked me the other day, how long does the charge last? And I said, well, I've never had it run out in between jobs. So that's my first time that it has. So I'm going to leave that on there. It's normally runnier than that. It might not be too successful. But I'm going to make sure that I hold that onto that glue. Okay, and then I'm holding that spring shut. If you let go, it would uncoil. We need to wait until the glue has set, and by just a finger on the top there, it's going to be fine. She says, fingers crossed. Okay, I would have liked to have a bigger puddle of glue on there than that. It is on, but it's trying to charge and work at the same time, and it's not too good. But yeah, that's it's kind of set there. So there is my little rose. Okay, put it onto the white card, it will reflect better, like so. There we go. And a 3D version, you can turn it over and you can see it's set onto the disc at the bottom there, and it's just coiled up. You can you can do that any size you like, and you can let the spring come out bigger or smaller. Start off with different size circles, that will give you different results, but you can do that with this set. So I've got a couple of others here, and you'll see how different they come out. They were all from the same die. Okay, one tonight and then two that I'd already done. Okay, so that's another really good idea. It really is needing its charge on here. What else can I do here? If I get another glue gun out, a different one, it's still going to need to charge to heat up. So I'm a bit lost without that now. Well, if I just go through the motions, what I'm going to do, I'm going to flatten this down. Okay, so this is going to come down into the centre, like so. It's easier on a mat that will slide. So that's going to come down like so. This one's still trying to split. I think it's because of I messed up with the flaps. You're then going to put some glue on here. So my hot glue gun will then come over onto here and make a little puddle. And then you're going to stick one of these ones on the back here and hold it in place. Now our acrylic blocks are really good for doing that. You can just lay that on the top there and it will set. Okay, so as soon as the glue has grabbed it, this one is, yeah, it's still struggling at the moment. So that will grab it, and then once you've got that, that will be fixed onto here. Okay, so then we turn the whole thing over and we're going to mount up these layers. So we'll just have to envisage that's happened. I'm going to do like Blue Peter here in the UK, it used to be a children's programme. Here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, so I had my rosette shape upside down. I put the glue that won't heat up and won't charge up over here, and then I put the dome, this piece, onto the back there. Okay, you can leave the pretty side out, but that went on that side. Once that has all set, very quickly, you turn it over. The glue, once it goes cold, it's set. It goes back to being like these are glue sticks, okay, and it heats as it goes through. I like this one because it's standalone. Once it's fully charged, you switch it on here and it lasts for a long while. Okay, so I'll switch it back on and see how far we go in a sec. So I've then put this layer on. So this one then went on the front, okay, and then I put this layer on top. Okay, you can actually put the hot glue gun behind in layers. It gives you some dimension, so there is a little bit of dimension in here. And that's purely, no dimensionals in there, it's purely caused from the hot glue gun, just offsetting that layer a little bit, okay? And then you do the same for the next layer, and then our little dome goes on the middle. Now, even though I've put a foam pad on there, I do then put some glue on there as well, hot glue gun, and that will just stay on there as a little dome. Or you can put it flat, it doesn't matter, okay? So that's where we're gonna end up with that. Now, there's all sorts you can do with that. This one was put on flat. That was my little dome, because that's another feature that I like to share my tips with you. So I'm going to leave that one here now so you kind of know where we're heading. Okay, let's see if we can get some out of here. No, I don't think we're going to. No, it's not going to play ball. Okay, we will give up on that idea, but you've seen how that's going to go. So flatten it down, disc on top, turn it over, and then put the other layers on. Okay, and we've done our little helter-skelters for the little roses that went over here. Okay, so it's a bit disjointed tonight, but I hope you get the drift of where that's going. That's my finished one. They're my finished ones. Okay, and they're all the individual pieces. Okay, I hope you can see all those in the screen, just about. There we go, bring those down. And that one with the glue half set on there. There we go. So I'll leave those all together. And I hope that, oh, very pretty. Thanks, Shaz. It does work when your glue gun's working. This is a, Stampin' Up! Don't do a heat gun. They just don't do one at the moment. This is a nice bright green one. It's a USB charge on the back here. And so the light will go blue once it's switched on. So if I switch that on here, the little button, okay, it goes blue and red because it's still charging. And then it's a good trigger motion, but it's got a solid base to it, so it will sit nicely without being pulled by the wire, but it will sit there nicely without having dangly wires across the table. Okay, so I hope you like that bit disjointed tonight. I'm just going to bring you back to me. Okay, a little bit disjointed there, thanks to the glue gun not playing ball. But you will see the finished projects. You've seen this one I had done anyway. And I will take a photo of them as well and put on the front of the YouTube thumbnail. Okay, so that's me today. So where are we for time? 8:45. Took a little bit longer because we're messing about with the glue. I will be back on Wednesday again, and don't forget, whilst we're in July, we've got the bonus days on. I think I mentioned it last Wednesday. Every £45 you spend, you can get a £4.50 voucher emailed to you for spending in August, okay, next month. And we have been told we have got free shipping coming up. So if you want orders sent to you directly, there is going to be a free shipping date on the 23rd. I will sort the graphic out as soon as I can and get that up online for you. Again, without the MacBook, I haven't got Canva, I haven't got all the programs I normally use, so it would just be a case of getting the information there however I can. Okay, so remember those, and I will see you back here again on Wednesday with something else to create. Okay, so take care, thanks for bearing with me, and apologies for my beautiful, I do love that hot glue gun, but apologies that it's not playing ball tonight. It needs a good long charge overnight, I think. Okay, so take care, and I will